Cool beans, cool beans. Look like we're live. Look like we're good to go. Hi, guys. It's Mel. Better late than never. We're here with my friend, Mr. Andres from the Graffix Shack. So I have been watching him for a while, and I have seen him come up from his startup to where he is right now. I think the first time I got introduced to him was when Reyes interviewed him at his actual shop. That I think you're still in that same shop now. But that's when I first got introduced to him. And ever since then, I've been following him and his actual movements in the industry. And man, he has done some awesome graphics and he has been an inspiration to me. So I thought it would be great for me to bring him aboard and for us to kind of look at some of the things and hear some of the insights from him on how he is in his business and, you know, what's his inspiration and how he got started and all that type of stuff. So here I am going to introduce to some and present to others, Andres from the Graffix Shack. Yay!
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you so much for that introduction. Those are some really amazing words. I appreciate that.
Great. Look, I'm a person, I research a lot of people before I actually bring them on. And you are one of my people I wanted to bring on. I've been after you for a while. We finally got it together. So we got it in motion and we're here. So I am going to say, what is your inspiration for your motivation for doing the things that you do with the Graffix Shop?
Basically, just I'm always been pretty self-driven. I've always been sort of artistic, not at all a graphic artist or anything like that, but just I've always liked art and stuff like that. And recently, I had a little baby. He's 3 years old, so a lot of my inspiration, you know, is for him, basically.
Okay. So when you started the Graffix Shack 3 years ago, was it 3 years ago or longer?
I officially started it in 2009. I started doing the YouTube videos about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So because I would say I remember seeing you about 3 years ago. So because I thought you started like in 2009, but I understand your inspiration came from making sure your baby had something to fall back on. Okay, cool. Yeah. So what started you back in 2009 in business? How did that come about?
So the way that I got into this whole industry is because I've always been athletic. I've always played on baseball, soccer, football sports. So we're always playing on teams. And I remember when I used to live in LA and we moved to San Diego. So when we moved to San Diego, I joined an adult soccer team.
Okay.
And when we went to go play our first game, our team had no money. And we were the only team that didn't have any uniforms. Everybody had their own T-shirt. And so that's when I asked the manager at the time. I said, "Hey, would it be cool if we just get some cheap, you know, screen printed T-shirts that we could get at least so we can at least look good?" And so we asked the team, and nobody wanted to spend the money. So I just took it upon myself. I said, "Hey guys, you guys bring me a T-shirt and I'll print something on it." And I had no idea how to print a T-shirt or anything like that. I just took it upon myself to do it, right? And once I had a commitment once I got the commitment from the guys, it was up to me to figure out how to print them.
So you printed them on screen printing, or you did it with printer, or how did you do it?
I did it screen printed. To this day, I have no idea how I even managed to get the image on there. I don't know how, because after I did that one, I tried again and I couldn't do it. So I don't know how that particular one came out, but it happened.
That was God, all about that.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a thing that you had to overcome, right? So that was a challenge you did the first time, and then the second time you ran into a block, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do to overcome that obstacle?
So what I did was, you're familiar with the screen printing, right? You got to burn screens, emulsion, and all that. I don't know how I even managed to do it. So I coded some screens. This is for the first time for the soccer team. Coded some
Okay.
screens with some emotion.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even have a like a what do you call that? The exposure unit. So I don't know if
Okay.
you're familiar with the old school, but you have this PVC
With the
pipe with the
vinyl.
light hanging down. Yeah. So I had that. And it wasn't even a professional one. It was something a light that I bought from Home Depot with a little string hanging down.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
got it. Somehow I managed to burn the screen. So when
Okay.
I got back into my garage and I was trying to just print some t-shirts just for fun, just to see what I can do. I couldn't get the image to burn on the screen. And I tried for like months. I couldn't do it and I got frustrated. So what I ended up doing was I was doing some research. On at the time it was Yahoo, so I was on Yahoo doing research, and I
Okay.
came across heat transfer vinyl. And so I bought myself a little plotter, a little cutter,
Hmm.
a little press, and I
Hmm.
printed some T-shirts with vinyl. And I did vinyl for like a year.
Whoa. Okay. Cool. Cool. That's innovative. Very innovative. So you came up
Yeah, I
with
did
that.
it.
That was very good. So after you did that, did you maintain? Okay, I'm going to now look to build up my customer base to possibly go and get a exposure unit so I can get a better press. I mean, because I don't think that you have. I've had a couple people that I know that have done vinyl, and they still had no problems doing it because they were not sure, it was on the fence if they were going to get in it or not. And
Right.
that's something that they did, and it was fine, and it worked out
Yeah.
for them. And they didn't even worry about exposure unit. That's just what they do, and they just have a
Right.
single, Amazon press. That's it.
Yeah.
So, what made you transition from that to your first press and
So
unit?
what? Right. So at the time, I mean, vinyl heat transfer vinyl has come a long way since the day that I first started to now. Like the vinyl is it's really soft. It stretches. It stays on there for a long time if you apply it correctly. So it's made a huge change and improvement from when I first started. So the biggest thing when I was doing t-shirts with vinyl was people would tell me that the shirt. I mean, at the time it was like thick vinyl or it would peel off, and it was good for like if you just needed a quick like a throwaway t-shirt, not something that you
Right.
wanted to keep for a long time. Yeah. So that was the recurring issue was that people were saying that the feeling wasn't like a screen printed t-shirt. And so I wanted to get good at doing screen printing before I actually offered it because I remember that it was a challenge just to get the screen burned. So that was the inspiration or the reason why I got back into screen printing because I didn't want the complaints from people.
Okay. So with you doing this now, you're building an audience or a following.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that name, Graphic Shack?
The Graphic Shack. The way I came up with it is because so I live in San Diego,
Okay.
and in the San Diego County, the city that I actually live in is Ramona. So Ramona is a very old school. There's one main street here. It's a very small little town, and it's very country. There's a lot of
Hmm.
rodeos and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And so when I was doing some research as far as like names that I thought would be catchy, um, I came across this little a picture of an outhouse a picture of an outhouse, and I was like, "Ah, man, that would be cool if I can integrate like a little outhouse in a logo, right?" That was my whole thought. And then just through trial and error and just different little things, it just happened to come together. Graphics, but I didn't want the regular graphics, so I went GRAFFIX graphics, and
Okay.
then Shack. I took it from the little outhouse thing, and I thought
Mm,
Shack was something that could relate to the little country town that we got here.
that's a unique brand identity. And how has that come to play for you? Is it paying off? That uniqueness.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the people here in town, a lot of people here in town, well, they know me. It's a small town, so everybody knows me, and everybody says, go to the shack." So yeah, yeah. It's pretty.
So let me ask this: you're in Cali.
Yeah.
I mean, there is probably billions, not billions, but there's plenty of graphic, oh, not graphic, but screen printing shops there.
Oh yeah. There's so many. Yeah.
Okay, so how do
Yeah.
you stand out above the rest? What makes your shop so different from the others?
That is probably like the biggest question that everybody has. Like, how can I stand out? How can I even get any kind of business from anybody when, like you said, I mean, San Diego, there's so many. Like, it's like every mile there's somebody with a little shop, or like there's also big name shops here as well. So the way that I do is, or what I do, or what actually works for me is, I'm very screen printing is like an art. It's a craft, and taking that into consideration, I kind of I'm very people oriented, and I like to treat everybody the same and fair. I don't like to overprice. In my town,
Mhm.
I drop orders off at people's houses. It's funny enough because everybody here knows me for the last minute kind of guy, right? Everybody comes to me when they have an order that they need it like tonight or
Mhm.
tomorrow. For the most part, I will bend over to get that order done,
Okay.
and I'll even drop it off at their house. Sometimes I've met them at their place of business, so I go the extra mile. That not necessarily the bigger shops. I mean, they're not really gonna do that because they can't they can't, and number two, they don't need to.
Mhm. So if you doing one-offs, how's that worked out for you? Because I know some shops they will not do those one-offs like that. I mean, do you do them still the screen printing way, or do you have a DTG or DTF, or what? How does that work for you? Do you do transfers with it, or what do you do?
So it will depend on what the customer wants. For example, let's say that they are going to have a little birthday party and they just want, a little cartoon and the name of the person and their age.
Mhm.
And typically for something like that, they order, two or three shirts. So what I try to do, so the services that I offer are screen printing,
Okay.
the heat transfer vinyl. We do some
Mhm.
sublimation, and we'll
Mhm.
do DTF as well.
Okay.
So to screen print something like that, it would be it would be in my favor, but it wouldn't be in the customer's favor because I would have to charge them a lot, right? Just for the setup
Mhm.
and all of that. So that one would be out of the question. The next one would be vinyl. So I would offer them in vinyl if it's something that we could simplify into a one or two color, design that we could easily weed out and press real quick. If they are very adamant about a full color image, which usually they are,
Okay.
what I do is I will move up to the next thing, which is a sublimation. So sublimation works best for white or light, like very light colored fabrics, and they have to be at least 50% polyester or more. The more
Okay.
polyester, the brighter the image. So I'll
Uh-huh.
try to talk them into a white T-shirt, maybe a light gray,
Right.
and if that works, then I'll get that printed that way. And if that doesn't work, the next thing would be a DTF transfer, which I usually order from a vendor, and then I'll just press them as soon as they come in.
Okay. All right. So I noticed that you didn't mention live printing. Do you
Right.
do live printing?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do live screen printing. I didn't mention it because I consider it part of the screen printing business, but it is a separate little wing that we do offer for
Mhm.
bigger events. For mainly, what we do is for charities that are trying to raise money for a certain cause, and then we
Okay.
will go to that particular event. We'll print the T-shirts for that event, and then we'll give them a percentage of the proceeds.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how is that how you being in Cali? I know you always have a lot of people wanting you to be a part of their events, doing things of that magnitude. So how do you choose which event is best for you?
Yeah. So for that, I gotta know, number one, what is the organization's name, and then I'll research them and see what they're about and see if I like their cost. Number one. Number
Mhm.
two, I will ask them. I want to know how many people they're expecting, what other vendors are going to be there, and if they have a design already in mind. And then number three, I ask them what the goal of the actual event is. Are they just trying to raise money just for them to donate, or are they trying to just put money in their own pocket?
Okay.
And then from that, I'll make a decision on whether or not the event is actually worth it for us to go or not.
Right. Hmm. So this quarter, we're at the end of this quarter. How
Yeah.
many live printing events have you done so far?
So far, we've done five.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Yeah, we average about one or two a month. We average about one or two a month. They're mostly because there's a lot of work involved in bringing a whole shop to an event. So we try to keep it as local as we can. I mean, we're not opposed to going to Texas, but it would have to be it
I
would have
mean,
to be
worth it. I mean,
yeah,
worth it.
because yeah, I have to bring staff as well and all that kind of stuff. So it would have to be worth it, but we're not throwing it out.
Oh, okay, all right. That brings me to my first question. So I was going to ask you: are you a solopreneur, or do you have staff that works with you?
For the most part, it's just me. My wife will help me out here and there whenever we need some help. But mainly it's just me. Sometimes I'll hire my little brother to help me out, and if I need somebody else, then I'll bring another couple people. But for the most part, it's just me doing all the work. The people that I hire is mainly for the events. Yeah.
Okay, so you just hired event staff. I mean, are
Yeah.
they already familiar with screen printing, and you don't have to do any training or anything like that, or how does that work
Yeah,
for
I,
you?
I try to use the same people all the time. So it's usually my little brother, and then he has two friends that have come along with us for the events, and they've already learned. So those are the three people that I usually bring. And then if I need another fourth, then my wife will come by and help us out. But usually three of us is good.
Okay, cool. So you ventured into screen printing from vinyl to actually screen printing,
Yeah.
and you got a dose of the embroidery world. How did that
Yes.
turn about? Walk me into that. Walk me into that one.
Well, so the way that we the way that we got into the embroidery is well, when I first started my screen printing, I was just working out of my parents' garage.
Okay.
And that was fine for a while, but then eventually what happened is I kept getting people calling me and they wanted to meet me and come to the house, and they needed, because sometimes people want to see the product, they want to see how you print it, see the colors you got, it's a very they want to touch everything and see it with
Mhm.
their own eyes, because it's hard to describe or hard to make a decision based on a photo or something like that. So I got tired of people coming to the house, and I ended up opening a shop. And when I
Mhm.
opened the shop, the number one request was embroidery. So eventually, I had to bite the bullet, and we got into the embroidery business as well.
So, what were you working on when you were working on your embroidery? What machine you were working on?
I had an Avance 1501.
Hmm, interesting. That's a good machine. So,
Yeah, yeah,
so
it was
you
good.
learned it. Was it easy or was it difficult or what was it? Was it a hard learning curve or a walk in the park?
To be honest, for me, I thought it was gonna be super hard, but it was not. It was actually pretty easy. I got to know the machine in and out really quick, and I mean, I would say within a month, I was already embroidering really really good. The only thing that for me was a challenge, and still to this day is the actual digitizing. So what I ended up doing was I would just send the artwork out, contract it out, and then when I get the file, I just put it in the machine, and we'd be ready to go.
Right. Like I have a Melco and I did these the other day. Uh,
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
I did these for my
Before we got our machine, we were actually looking at a Melco. That looks nice.
yeah. I did these the other day, getting ready
Be-
to send these out for Easter. And
You do your own digitizing?
on some things, if it's a little bit more artwork, if it's wording and stuff like that, I can do that. But if it's like a lot of like hats, I have to send that out because that's a
Yeah,
different type of digitizing than the norm. I'm
yeah,
a beginner
yeah.
in the digitizing world. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'd rather go ahead and pay somebody versus me spending all
Oh
my
yeah,
time and it's still not right. So therefore,
yeah,
it's best to just go ahead and just say, you know what, give him
yeah.
that money, her that money, and it saves you peace of mind and you getting
Oh yeah,
frustrated about it,
yeah,
and then you can go ahead and get it done and get it out to the
yeah.
client instead of wasting the time because it's just
Definitely.
it's a lot. So
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Digitizing is a lot. That's we used to do a lot of hats. That was the biggest request was hats. And I tried the first few, but digitizing was just not my thing. I couldn't get it. So what I ended up doing was, the impression show in Long Beach. So I ended up
Mm-hmm.
meeting a guy there that does digitizing. So we got together with him, and I would always just send him the artwork, and he'd take care of it, send it back to me, and I would just put it in the machine, ready to go.
Yeah, I
It's
have
worth.
two
It's
guys.
worth. It's worth. Yeah, it's like you were saying. It's really worth the extra money that you're paying. I think at the time he was charging us like $20 for each design, and which is it's not bad. 20
Yeah, I
bucks is
mean,
not worth a headache for me.
my guy charges me $20 to $25 depending on the actual complexity of it all. Now, if
Yeah,
it's a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
more, he will charge more. Like I had him to do, I don't think I have a picture of that, but I had him to do a eagle, and it was very very detailed. And oh my God, now he charged me about $35 for that, but it was worth every penny
Oh yeah,
because
I bet it was. Yeah.
details that he put in that it was just like phenomenal. I must say I give him that one. He put his foot in that one. I give him that. And I've also sent him a hat in which he didn't know it was for a hat. I just sent him the design and told him I needed it. And I needed it,
Yeah.
certain size, whatever. And then when I stitched it
Yeah.
out, it didn't come out the way I was like, wait, hold up, something's not right. This is not the density is this. I mean, as much as I try to do it with the little, panels we have in our system, in our for going ahead and pushing it through, it was not
Right.
enough. Not enough. So I had to send it back. And he said, why didn't you tell me it was what I had? I'd have did something different. You can't do it the same way.
It's a
Somebody
different
should
thing.
have
Yeah.
told me.
Yeah, it's a.
It's a different animal, but
It
if you
is.
give
Yeah.
it the right specifics, it'll work.
Oh yeah, perfectly. Yeah, yeah. You just got to make sure that you are specific. If you're gonna put it on a polo dry fit shirt, let them know that. And if you're gonna put it on a hat, also let them know that, because it is different. It's not like for example, it's not like screen printing where I set up the screen. I can print the screen on a T-shirt. I can put it on the dry fit polo, or I can even put it on a hoodie, and it would be the same setup. It wouldn't change.
Well, I started off on a single needle sewing machine and embroidery machine. Then I moved up to the Melco, and it was a beautiful glide into it because I was like, oh my God, I don't have to change out these needles every time. So I was grateful for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I would tell anyone if you're interested in doing embroidery, take the baby steps. Go ahead and get the embroidery sewing machine because you'll learn the basics there. You get the foundations of what you need, and then when you do go over to commercial, you're great. You will ease into that, and it'll be a breeze. The only thing I will say, I love my Melco. However, I want another one, but I want one for just hats, and it would not be a Melco. I probably would get another one, like a Tajima or what's the other one, Barmaran or whatever.
Baruden, yeah, from Japan. That's the one that I'm looking at for like if I ever get another embroidery machine. That's the one that I think I'm gonna go with. Yeah.
That
You
one
know what?
or
You know why? Are you familiar with the baseball hats?
hmm hmm
New Era. So New Era,
hmm
New Era uses the Baruden ones. So
yeah,
I say if they're good for them, they're good for me.
that's what I said. I was at the show and I saw them there, and I was like, man, that's some
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
Oh yeah. That's like the Cadillac of machines. Yeah.
That made me stand back. Like, I've been tooting my horn about Melco, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a different. That made me stand back with ease. Like, I'm not to tell myself to take a couple steps back, rethink
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, because yeah, it's definitely a different. I mean, the stitch quality on those machines is a lot.
It's
I mean, the machine
phenomenal.
I had was okay, but when I would go to the shows and I would see what those machines were doing, I'm like, man, that's what I need right there. So it,
Mhm.
it is it is a little bit different.
It's a difference. I mean, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Every machine has a quality of what it does on
Yeah,
each individual product or decor. So
yeah.
there are things that Melco do well at that somebody else may not,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
the next person else. So
yeah.
for me, I just think that you just need to do what's working well with that machine for whatever decor you're working on. That's just my
Right.
suggestion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So you were working in embroidery. Now, what are you doing in embroidery?
I was just mainly just hats. That's like the biggest thing. So I don't see myself doing. I mean, if an order comes by, I would get it, but like not no backpacks or like little like I just basically want to focus on hats because hats. I think at least here in this town, they're popular and there's not a lot of competition here for hats. Everybody that gets hats here usually has to go into the downtown area or online.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you could throw that up real quick. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And that's the thing you want to look at. You want to look at what's the problem, what's the issue, and how
Yeah.
can you solve the issue. And that would be something that would be great for you if you get into that. So
Yeah.
now you had your screen printing, you've done the embroidery, you like the embroidery, you're gonna go to hats on it. But if we go back to your screen printing world, what press did you start off with when you started?
So I don't know if this website is still around, but so when I started, it wasn't a lot of information that you can readily just look up like there is now, right? You go to YouTube and look everything up, and you can just learn real quick. So I actually had to go to the library and do like research. I didn't even have internet at the time, so I was at the library just doing research,
Right,
and I
right.
stumbled upon this website. It was called Dharma Trading. I don't know if you're familiar with it. DharmaTrading.com. It's like a craft, like a Michaels,
Right, right, right.
but I mean it's not as popular as Michaels.
Mhm.
And so I went on that website, and they had a very old school, very basic one color wooden press. Everything on it was wood, and it was
Wow.
like it was like $110, and that was like in my budget. So I purchased it, and that was my first press. Yeah,
Well, I
it
can't
was
say mine was the Amazon press, the blue Amazon press.
the
So
blue one. Yeah, everybody talks about that blue one. Yeah, I keep getting. You know what? Funny thing, people are asking me to do a lot of reviews on that Amazon press. So I'm gonna have to buy it to do a review.
buy the new one with the new registrations, not the old one. Make sure you look at
Oh,
it. Look at the registration gate on it. It's a different because they set them up. They have them different now.
I
Make sure you do that.
I saw that was like the biggest complaint from all the videos that I've seen. That's like the biggest complaint, the registration gate. Yeah.
Hmm. They got a new one. I did a review, I think it was last year on it, and I put it together, and then I kind of did a little small review on it. But man, I'm gonna tell you that press, it it was not hard to put together, but it was hard trying to fine tune once you got it done. So
That's
that's
what
the only
it seems to me. Yeah.
that's the only thing.
See,
And of course, it doesn't have any micros, so you're shooting in the
yeah.
dark.
Oh
It's
yeah.
good for one color. That's it. I'm just being honest.
That's basically what it is. It's just like a starter press just to get you going. And
Hmm.
yeah, once you advance, then you can move up to something a little bit better.
Okay. So after you got your wooden press, when did you realize I need to move forward with something else?
Literally within the month, I got an order from that soccer that soccer league that I was playing in.
Uh,
Somebody asked if we could print them some shirts, and I try not to say no to anybody, So I was like, yeah, I could do it, and it was a three-color design. So I ended up
one press.
three colors. So I ended up yeah. So it was a three-color design, a little logo in the front, just like a little left chest print, and then a numbers on the back. So I ended up
Okay.
doing it the whole order. I did it in vinyl.
Okay.
That's when I was like, man, I'm gonna need something else.
Wow. So what did you purchase?
So everybody's familiar with. I'm sure you are with Ryonet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went on Ryonet at the time. They had a press called it was a four-color press, it's aluminum press, and it was called the silver. I think it's called the silver press.
Silver. Yeah. 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 Uh huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought that one, and I believe it was $400. It was a
Mm.
four color thing, and one station tabletop, which was perfect. And it was in my budget. And the minute I got it, I was on fire. So it was like a night and day between my little wooden press and
Mhm.
this silver press was like so amazing to me.
Right, right. So I seen that press in your garage. Looks like or
I,
something.
I have it, yeah. I
You did a
still have
video.
it.
Yeah, you did a
You
video
know,
not too long ago, and you had that in there.
yeah.
I saw that. I said, "Damn, he still got that silver one."
I still have it. I think Reyes was the one doing the video on that one for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
We
yeah. I
we
think
showed
it
up.
was.
Yeah. So funny
Yeah.
enough, that's the press that I use when I go to the shows. All the events that I do, like because it's very small and compact, I can take it in my car and pretty much take it anywhere. So that's the press that I use still this day for printing live at any
Okay.
event.
And so you move from there to what?
So now what I have is I went back to Ryan and I got what is it called? It's Riley Hopkins, and I don't know the name of the actual press, but it's 6 colors and 4 stations.
Okay. Okay. So, one important piece of information here. How were you drawing all these, starting from the wooden press to the silver press? What were you drawing with these things? How did that work out?
For drying the shirts.
Yeah. How were you curing?
Oh, I use a flat. I don't have. I know every for the most part the screen printers they all have a conveyor dryer, but I just dry everything on my flash dryer. I have a
So
flash dryer. The
even
first
when you had the wooden press, you had the flash dryer.
No, that's good call. So with the wooden press, because I it was it was not in my budget to get a flash dryer, so I ended up going to Home Depot and I got a heat gun, and I was
Okay,
drying shirts with the heat gun. Yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. So like I said, yeah, within that month, I was like, man, this is not gonna work. So when I got the silver press, I ended up getting the silver press, and at the time they had it was called the Rio Flash. It was their basic flash drive, and I bought that with the silver press.
Okay.
So I bought those
So,
two together.
man, so at what point did you realize I need to get a flash dryer with that heat gun? How many
Within that
shirts?
month, when
How many shirts did it take you to say, you know what, forget it? I'm getting that flash dryer, like right.
well, so remember the very first order that I did for my soccer team that I have no idea how I did. I ended up I had the little heat gun, and it was for that it was just a wording across, so it wasn't a big design. It was just words. So it was all night. I was just drying, and it was 13 players. So we had 13 jerseys, and so I dried all of them, and it took me all night to dry them and make sure that everything was good. And they didn't even dry perfectly because the next game after we played and people washed them, people came back with their shirts, and I was like, man, that one faded. Oh, that one faded, and it's because they weren't properly cured.
Good.
But yeah, so after doing, I would say about 8 or 9 orders, I was like, man, this is not gonna work. And that's when I found the silver press,
Okay.
and I ended up getting the Royal Flash along with
That's
the press together. Yeah,
cool.
it's too much time. It's you can't, and it's not you're not guaranteed to cure the whole thing evenly.
Right, right. So, wow, that wow. I'm just saying, I don't think I could sit there and just did that for 13 shirts.
No, no, it was. So I
That's a
did it for those 13, and then yeah, after that I had a few other orders for other soccer teams, which luckily they just had a small left chest prints, so it
right, right.
was a little faster, but still, I still had to be like that. And you know what? If you get too close, you burn the shirt. So I ended up burning a few shirts. Yeah, I
So you
burned
had
a
to do
few shirts
it.
all over. Yeah,
Yeah, dog.
so it was quite an experience. Yeah.
I bet it was. I bet it was. So let me ask this question. You were doing this all in your garage, or had you moved at that point to a better location than your
No,
garage?
at the time I was in the garage still. I didn't get the location till in 2000 and I think 2014 is when I moved to the to actual shop.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we
what
were
were the?
there the first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So when we moved in there, I've been into two different shops. The first shop was around 2014, and it was pretty big. It was 1,000 square feet, and it was roomy. So I had like a bunch of shelves of just blank T-shirts. So people would come in for T-shirts, like just to buy blank T-shirts, and then they would see, oh, they print T-shirts here. So they start ordering different custom orders. So I was double dipping in the work.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing. So you moved in your location.
Yeah.
You upgraded your equipment. Were you doing any marketing, or did you? How did you get your contacts? How did you get your clients? What were you doing to make those clients come in, or was it just your location?
I don't do any kind of, well, it is marketing, but I don't do any advertising. Like I haven't paid for any posts or any like Google ads. So the only thing that I do marketing wise is at the time I was posting a lot on Instagram, Facebook, on my personal Facebook and my personal Instagram, which
Hmm.
has a lot of more followers than I do on my actual shops pages. So I would post on there. And then what I would do also was on Google, if you have your social media and your website all linked together, and you have, they call it what do they call it? A search engine optimization, right? SEO.
Uh-huh.
So you optimize your website with keywords and all that. And so a lot of people, most of them would find me through Google.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't really pay for any advertising or anything like that. And like I said, this is a small town, so a lot of word of mouth is
I
is big
bet.
here.
I bet.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question as well. So if you're not doing any marketing and it's word of mouth, do you get any like contract work, or is this just still just maybe the mom and pops, or just the community or whatever?
When you say contract work, do you mean like other screen shops contracting me to print their work, or are you talking like printing for schools and bigger companies?
Bigger companies, schools,
Oh, yeah,
organizations.
yeah, yeah.
So you do get
Yeah, yeah,
contracts.
we I don't know if this is just us or if it's applies to everybody else that has a solopreneur or just a very small shop. But we do get a lot of big companies. We do print a lot for the high schools here. There's three high schools in our surrounding area, so we print a lot of their stuff for their athletics. We do a lot of the ASB stuff. We also print live at the high schools at the football games for just to raise money for the school for the kids. We do the Chamber of Commerce here hires us all the time, and we do print for like big companies who have they work for like the gas company for the electric. So they just find us, and then they put their orders in, and they like the work, and they just keep coming back. It's not like I wouldn't say it's a deterrent that we are a small shop. I think, if anything, it's been a plus for us.
Right, right. That's good. That's real good. So, if someone who was just starting out and they were trying to get into this, you would just tell them to keep doing what they're doing some maybe some social media marketing, not paid marketing, but just regular marketing, and hopefully, you'll draw that crowd in
Yeah,
that's looking for business. Okay.
yeah. So
All
what I
right.
what I do is and I try not to post the same kind of image all the time. So change it up on the images that you take, and people want to see everything. They want to see everything that's behind the scenes. They want to see you putting ink on the screen, or they want to see you maybe burning a screen, or maybe threading a needle if you're doing embroidery. That's the stuff that you don't think is interesting is the stuff that's actually interesting to people looking from the outside in. And then use a lot of the hashtags like here in town, we're in Ramona, so I'm always hashtagging Ramona. I hashtag San Diego because that's our metropolitan city here, San Diego. And then I'll hashtag screen printing, custom T-shirts, and then whatever. If it's a specific event, you hashtag that event, and then that will. I mean, it'll take a little bit of time for people to start coming to you, but once it does, it's just like a snowball effect.
So, how would you approach a new customer? If I mean, since you don't do any marketing, you don't do like any like if I don't know if you are you in a shopping center or are you in a mall or anything like that, or what is your location like?
So well, let me go to the shop. So the first shop we had was like I said, that was the big shop, and it was right on our main street, which is it's just one street on our main street. So everybody that drove by there would see us. Um, we were there for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and then what happened is the owner passed away, so they were selling off all of his properties, and I had to leave. So I ended up finding a smaller, very, very smaller shop. It was about 400 square feet, so about one fourth as the other one. And it was behind a gas station that nobody could see me. But people were
Mm.
still coming to me because they knew of me. So they would always message me on the Instagram, on Facebook, or on our website. They would send us emails. So they were asking, hey, where are you at? Are you guys still in business? And then eventually people got around to knowing that we were behind this gas station. We were at that spot for, I would say, 5 years. And then just last year, we were very blessed with being able to actually use our screen printing income to pay for a mortgage, and we were able to buy a house. So now what I ended up doing was the lease was up at the beginning of this year, so I
Mhm.
closed down that shop and I moved everything to my garage. So now I'm back in my garage,
All
but the
right.
orders are still yeah, the orders are still not uh, they're
Stop
still
it.
the same as if I was in the shop. So so it hasn't affected anything. Mainly, yeah, it's just because nowadays what I've realized is that before people, would walk the streets and they would see you, and that was like a big thing. That's how people would get their business. But nowadays it's all about social media and the internet. So that's basically how our orders come in now. We don't really need to be in front of anybody.
So you would tell a person just starting off not to go for the big fancy shop,
Yeah,
after a while. Stay
yeah,
in your own zone and
yeah,
build there and make it work because the overhead is going to take away from what you're trying to do.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I think that I mean, and it's gonna be different based on where you're located and where your shop is and all that. For us, the first shop when we were at Main Street, that one was the big one, 1,000 square feet. So right there, we were playing. At the time, it was 1,200 a month, which is not bad. It's not bad.
Mhm, mhm.
And the owner would actually give us a discount, and if we paid it on time, it was only $1,000.
Oh, that's good.
Which, if you look at it, I mean, it's only $1,000, right? But if you don't have enough business to generate those extra $1,000, and when you do get that money in, it doesn't feel good to give it to somebody else. It is
Right.
it is a lot.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot. I mean,
it's a lot.
thousands of
And that's an
dollars.
extra. I mean, if yeah, if you could generate $1,000 from your garage as opposed to generating $2,000 another place, I think it should be better off, less headache and less, because when you're at an actual storefront, you gotta have insurance, you gotta have the surveillance camera. There's a lot that goes into it.
It is. I mean, you got to pay taxes at the end of the year on that. I don't know if you're
Oh yeah,
there. I mean, because I know here in Texas, we don't have state taxes, so they tax the devil out of us elsewhere. So we have to pay, taxes
yeah,
on buildings I don't even own. And I'm like, why am I paying taxes on this building? But
yep, exactly, yeah, yeah. I
that's
know
the
the feeling. Yep.
that's the
So yeah,
cost of.
I would if you're a beginner, I would say yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't, because you know what it is. It's very attractive. It's very like everybody's like hopes and dreams, right? You want to have a shop, and this is my place, and that's great. That is great. But if you're gonna be able to generate the same amount of money in your own spot, less pressure, more money in your pocket, I would say the only reason that you would want an actual spot is if you don't feel comfortable having people come to your house. Nowadays for us, people just put the order in, I get it done, and then I drop it off. They don't even have to come in anymore.
Speaking of, they put your order in. So do they put their orders in by calling you, emailing you, or online? How does that work for you? What technology is working best for you in that regard?
So for us, we have a on our website, thegraphicshack.com, and then I have a quote submission order form, right? So people will put that in there, they submit it, I get the email, I check it, I give them a quote real quick, and then they send it back saying, okay, agreed, good to go. I'll do the mock-up, send it to them. They give me the thumbs up, we'll print it, and then I send them the email them the invoice. They'll pay the invoice, and then I drop off the order. That's basically how it works. And then also on Facebook, if you have your own shop, I recommend you getting a Facebook a shop page, right? That's what they call it, the shop page. Yeah, and then you can also set it up so that you can do quotes and orders from that little shop page as well.
Okay.
You can handle all payments and stuff through there as well.
There, yeah. So, question: a person starting off, they've made their mind up. They're going to stay in their garage or their cubby hole, and they actually got their equipment, and they see that they're growing in the business. So they got all this money from not going to a space. Now they want to upgrade their equipment. They upgrade their equipment, and they outgrow that equipment. Now what?
So now they got better equipment. So that does that does two things. Number one, it's gonna make you more effective. So for example, let's say you upgraded from a flash dryer to now you have a conveyor dryer. So now you can dry the shirts. Just as an example, on the flash dryer, me personally, I can dry at a rate of about 30, depending on the size of the image, about 30 to 40 shirts per hour, roughly. Right. And so if you have a conveyor dryer, you're looking at about 80 to 100 in an hour. So you're increasing your production, less time, and so now what happens is you're giving a quote for the same amount, but now because it took you less time, you're technically making more money per hour.
Money. Yeah. That's right.
Right?
That's a good point. But our young generation, they're wanting the instant gratification of everything.
Yeah.
They don't understand sometimes it takes time to get to that level. But once you get to that level, it does come and it starts speedballing. So you got to be prepared, and you got to have all these systems in place in order for it to actually, fruition. So what steps would you give young entrepreneurs coming through? Hey, what would you do? What would you mentor them and tell them?
So let's say somebody that's brand new, right? They're trying to start a printing business from scratch. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is start with. What I did was I just dove in, and that's perfectly fine. You can dive in and just buy whatever is in your budget. That's perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's what I did. That's what a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. But if I could go back, I would have saved the money that I used buying. Like I went through the wooden press, and then I struggled with the light hanging down because I didn't have any money. And so what I would have done was different is save my money. If it's really something you want to do, save it for the best equipment that you can afford without going broke. Invest in something that is going to be able to give you predictable results. For example, the hanging lights will it work? Yeah, but I would invest in an actual what do you call it, exposure unit, because that is going to give you something that's concrete and it's going to work day in, day out, and you can rely on the results. Mm-hmm. So that would be something that I would go back and change, is save my money and spend it on something that is actually going to last me a long time. Like, for example, that silver press, I still have it to this day, and I probably had it for about 15, 18 years. So save your money and spend it on stuff that is actually going to, number one, last a long time. Number two, give you predictable results. And then from there, I would say don't really worry too much about what your neighbor is doing, what other people are doing, because there's a lot of flashy things. There's a lot of new things coming up all the time. So don't worry about everything that pops up. Focus on your own craft,
Mhm.
and focus on just getting a little bit better every single day. I printed a lot before I was able to get a shop. So I messed up a lot of shirts. You're gonna mess up, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you learn. If you don't make mistakes, you will never learn. There's a lot of lessons to be learned, and the only way to learn them is by making mistakes. So save your money, make mistakes, and learn from those mistakes, and then from there, you're gonna start to see which direction you need to go, because you may have an idea in your head where you want to go, but
Mhm.
until you actually start doing it,
Right,
you don't really realize where you want to go.
right. I
Did
agree
that
with
make
that.
sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Everything you said made a whole lot of sense, and I appreciate that because a lot of people they don't understand. It's nothing wrong with failing. You fail forward. When you
Yeah,
fail,
yeah, oh
you
yeah,
fail backwards, but you fail forward. Everything you did when you fail, you learn how to do it better and how to
yes,
do it
yeah,
greater than what you did it before. So therefore,
yeah,
you won't make those same mistakes that you made to fail.
right, yeah, yeah,
You'll fall forward into progression. They don't get that.
exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah. I like that. Fall forward into progression. You know what? That I'm gonna make it into a shirt and I'm gonna send it to you because I like that. Fall forward into. I like it. I
I
like
need
it.
it. I need it. I need that. I need that. So let me ask this question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where is the graphic shop shack going in 5 years? What do you see?
In five years. Okay, so 5 years. We will definitely have an embroidery machine. Hopefully,
Okay.
the Barudan, the one that I was talking to you about.
Right.
So hopefully,
I'm
that we will have that, and then and, and then we should also by then have a, because as of now, I've pretty much maximized the most that I can in my little flash dryer. I can't go any faster. At this point, it's almost, I would say, slowing me down. So we really do need to invest in a conveyor dryer. So we need that.
okay.
And we are also looking at possibly going back into an. I know I just talked about keeping your store in your garage, but we do have we do have a lot of people here in town that are they're always asking like, where are you located? Where are you located? And when I tell them where we're located, they're like, "I'll just put the order in and then just bring it to me," because they want to come and they want to see. You know what happens is people want to come by and they
I
want to
want to
talk
see
to you.
you
They want to
physically.
hang out. So
I
it's a little
want
bit different. So hopefully, in the 5 years, we'll have another shop open. Maybe like a little warehouse, and nothing too flashy. Nothing. It doesn't have to be on Main Street, but something where people can actually come by, hang out, and
to-
we can shoot more videos.
Okay. All right. So I know you got a lot coming up. We talked about it before, and I want you to give us a little bit of intake and of what you guys got going on or coming up in the next few months or so, and what direction you guys are going in. So, floor is yours. Have at
All right. Let me. So in the next few months, we're gonna have. This is the only month that we didn't have anything booked, but
it. Okay.
from the next month forward, we'll have at least one screen printing event that we're going to be doing. Let me pull up the dates here.
Okay.
The next one would be in Long Beach. If you're in California, it's going to be in Long Beach, and it's on
Okay.
the 27th. And this one is it's going to be at a place called where's this place? Um, Hold on. It's called Roland Sands. I believe this
Okay.
is what it's called. It's in Long Beach on the 27th. It'll be from 11 to 5. And we're there. We're printing the official t-shirts for the event. And this
Okay.
event is going to be for, let me see. Um, I think it's for let me see. I'm reading the event information here. Sorry, I wasn't fully prepared here.
It's okay. You're good. You're good.
I think this one is for. I think I'm pretty sure it's for Down syndrome
Okay.
awareness. I think. Uh,
So you do a lot of shows for, like you said, the community and charitable events and things like that, correct?
yes, yes. A lot of organizations will come to us, and they what started happening is we printed for a few of them that just hit us up out of the blue, and this is when we had our first shop right on Main Street. They walked right into our shop, and they wanted to place an order for. They were raising money for schools so they can give donations to kids that don't have money to go to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we like that, and so they came up with a design, and they wanted to order. I think at the time it was like 500 shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when the guy wanted to place the order, he was just concerned that they were going to have a bunch of shirts left over.
Okay.
And I personally didn't feel comfortable. This wasn't a service that we provided at the time. I didn't feel comfortable taking his money, knowing that they might, or more than likely would be having a bunch of leftover shirts. So I told him, I talked him out of ordering it, and I said I would get back to him after brainstorming with my brother to see how we can help them out. And we came up with this idea that we could print live at the event, and whatever we printed, we would donate a certain amount to the organization, and that way they wouldn't end up, number one, spending a bunch of money, and number two, with a bunch of leftovers that they couldn't sell. So he liked it, and from there it like spiraled, and word got out, and now we get a bunch of organizations that would come up, either email, they'll call us, or they'll show up to events where we're already printing, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to partner with us so they can do the same thing for their causes as well.
Cool. Cool. So you have that event coming up at the end of this month, and you actually uh, said you had something else that you're doing next month or so, next couple months or so, right?
Yes, this particular event that we're going with, they are organized by a company called SoCal Rider Coalition. So it's a bunch of motorcycle riders, and
Mm-hmm.
they get together to raise money for different types of organizations. Last month, we did the first one with them, and it was for the American Red Cross Association. They wanted to raise money for them. So that was a good event. That one was in San Marcos. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're the host for this next month on the 27th in Long Beach. And they are also, so they got a whole bunch of events this year. So we're, quote unquote, we're going on tour with them wherever
Okay.
they go. So they hired us for the rest of the year, and then in the middle,
Wow.
in between their events, we have other events for different chambers of commerce that host events as well for schools.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. That's gonna be good. That's a good thing.
So yeah, it's a good thing. It's really for us. It's a way of, number one, getting out of the shop and doing something that we don't do every day.
In the community.
We're Yeah. And then number two, we're helping out a good cause. Number three, it's another way of marketing, quote unquote, because people are there, they see us. I can't tell you how many times people will come up to us and ask us for quotes. So that's a way of getting exposure right there. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's just fun. It's for us, at least it's fun. You go out there, there's music, and it's just a cool environment.
Cool beans. So we're at the end of our actual interview, and I want to thank you so much for coming in on our show. I just want to see if you have any questions for me. Do you have any questions for me? I'll sit back and do
Um, no. I know you did the embroidery, and you told me you had the Melco, right?
right.
So, because that was the machine that we were looking at getting when we got the Avance, and the only reason we ended up not getting it is because that's the one that you need to have the laptop with it, right?
Yeah,
Or
you
something
have
like
to.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was the only reason we said we didn't want that one, because we
You wanted touchscreen.
right, yes, that's so that was the only reason. But the quality was there. The quality was there. We went and we saw a few samples, and then we saw it at a show as well. and it looked good. It looked good, but just didn't. We ended up with the other one just because of the touch screen thing. You you uh you do a Etsy, right? Is that what you do? You have an
I
Etsy
do
shop?
I do Etsy. I have an online, and I have a lot of I do a lot of Eastern Star Masonic stuff. I do a lot of their shows and stuff like that. So I do a lot of where I travel to go to those shows.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, because I tried to do.
I do rhinestones too, as you'll see.
Oh, you did that. That is amazing. That looks good. I've always wanted to try the rhinestone thing, but I never really got a chance to get it. But that's awesome. Let me see. Can I see that again? That looks good. Damn, that's cool.
Hmm.
Is that a plot? Is it a plotter? You cut it out
Yeah,
on a plotter and then you put the.
yeah, I did it with the graph tech.
Oh, okay. Is that did you what's the guy's name? The Rhinestone World?
Well, these are not his stones; these are mine. I sell stones too. So.
Oh, you sell the stones themselves.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You sell those on Etsy?
I don't sell them on Etsy, but I have them on my site. Yeah. Mhm.
What do you do for to because I was saying I tried Etsy out like during COVID when everything was shut down. We actually pivoted and we were printing a bunch of masks at the time, so that was not too bad. But I tried doing because we do offer sublimation, so I was trying sublimated tumblers on Etsy, and it was going okay. But then like I was getting, it gives you gotta get the order out within a certain amount of time, and then right, and I ended up falling behind, and then now people aren't ordering.
Yeah, Etsy is funny. I'm gonna be honest with you. I only do digital stuff on there now, and that's
Oh
I
yeah,
put my handmade stuff off and just let it be digital because of that very reason. Because
it's
I'm being pulled in so many different places, I
yeah.
can't. I can't. I mean, I sometimes I don't even see the message. I have so many messages. I have two
Oh yeah.
phones. I have three phones. But
Wow.
it's crazy because I can't keep up because I got so many messages coming in.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with what's going on. So
Yeah.
that's why
That's exactly.
I have to kind of stay on top of my messages, my emails, or whatever, and make
Yeah.
sure I get back to people. And when it comes to orders, Etsy doesn't send you uh, the emails all the time. They just send you these alerts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That was
yeah,
kind
my
of a.
notifications turned off because I got tired of the doggone alarms going
Mhm.
off.
Yeah.
Like I can't deal with these alarms; they get on my nerves, so I turn them off. So therefore, I miss them.
Yeah.
So
Same thing
I
happened to us. Yeah.
I had to go back to just taking everything off of there and just letting it be the digital stuff, and that's it.
I was thinking of doing something like that too because people ask me all the time if we can design stuff for them, and I was just thinking of just like doing some like digital, maybe some editable graphics that people can just take and maybe like like simple graphics that people can edit and customize
Mhm.
to their own like. Um, what are you like? Are you doing anything as far as like advertising, or how do you drive traffic to your Etsy shop?
I used to market and spend about I would put $25 up on all of the things whenever they click on it, up to $25. But it became a little bit overwhelming because at one point it was like I made the money, but I had to
Yeah.
pay it off. So it was like a wash. I never really made any money for like 2 months. That happened,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. I just stopped because it was like by the time I got back to doing anything, I was just coming home with like $20, and I was like, I sit there and I put 50 to 60 new things in there every other week, trying to be
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it. My time and my money for my time was not being equally.
It wasn't right. Yeah.
The math wasn't mathing. So I was like, okay, this is not for me. So I just let it stay digital, and then just it's whatever out there because I haven't even updated it in a long time. So Whatever sells, sells, and it just like equals itself out. So I'm not losing anything. I'm not gaining anything. I'm just staying relevant. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Um, Now, if somebody has, I know we talked about the vinyl, and I know there's a lot of like people that have vinyl cutters, and they sometimes just want to have a little bit extra money, and they don't really know how to market themselves. Let's say that they want to start like an Etsy shop. Do you recommend that they do like just to have? Like I see a lot on Etsy. Like, competition. There's a lot of competition on Etsy. Like I see like just funny slogans like. I don't know, like what's something funny that just happened maybe in the news. I don't know, like some funny something they saw in the news and they put a little catchphrase on there or something. Like I see those are pretty popular on Etsy. Now, is that something that you would recommend somebody doing, like something
If
like
you're
that?
trying to get started and you need a starting spot, that is a good starting spot because it's little to no money to start up because you're only putting maybe 10 cents or 20 cents for adding an actual item on their site.
Yeah,
And you're paying a actual website fee or paying somebody to set up your website, you're doing it now. You may run into a little bit of difficulty getting somebody to see your stuff because of the fact that you don't have any hashtags or you don't know the keywords or things
yeah.
like that. But if you follow some of the things that you see out there already, something similar to what you have, and you can do something like it, then you'll get that traffic. It may not be immediate, but it will come.
It'll come. Yeah. Give me one. My phone is dying. I got 3%. Let me grab the charger. What? Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So let me put this in here. Hold on. All right, we're back in the mix.
Okay. Okay. What other
All right.
questions
Sorry.
you have?
All right. Okay, since you do embroidery, for embroidery, what? Because when I was doing embroidery, I never really knew if I was charging correctly. I was just charging like what the going quote unquote rate was in my area. How do you go about charging or yeah coming up with a price for your stuff?
By the stitches. How many stitches the item is going to be. That's the best way to do it. And the most people have a scale for their area of how much they would charge per stitch, per thousand stitches, because that's going to determine a lot because you want to know how much thread you're going to be using. And if it's an applique or if it's a chenille that you got to stitch down with a zigzag stitch, or, it just depends on what the actual item is too, because that's going to be an extra add on with it. So if
Yeah.
you got to do anything beyond just the regular embroidery, that changes the whole dynamics of the actual fee that you're going to, or quote that you're going to give out. But you go by the stitches and how many items you're going to be doing it for. So all those factors are going to play a key in there.
I say yeah, yeah. I think at the time we were charging I think $1 for every 1,000 stitches. But I don't know if that was like that. I thought that was just like what everybody in the area was charging, but I don't even know how we figured. Yeah, I don't even know how we figured that out. That's just the price we were giving out. So I didn't really know what to charge when it came to embroidery. We were just kind of price match other shops, and we just rolled with it.
Yeah, and you can do that too. You can just kind of, if you're not familiar with what the going prices are, because they change. They go up and they may go
Oh
down
yeah, yeah,
depending on what's going on. It may be the season. They may
yeah.
be
Oh
higher
yeah,
than others. That's with all of us. Seasons
yeah.
change about what all of us do. But I would do a price comparison. They don't have to know it. You're not calling to get business.
Oh yeah. We
And
were
it's
calling everybody.
all
Yeah.
the time. Just you just trying to figure it out. You're just trying to get a ballpark figure of being somewhere right there in the sweet spot. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. And then another thing, when we were doing the embroider, mainly we were doing hats, but occasionally people would bring us beanies, and I can't tell you how many beanies I ruined, because it's not the same thing embroidering a hat and embroidering a beanie. Like they would scrunch, like they'd come up all scrunchy. So, is there any tips that you have for like beanie?
I was supposed to do these, and I don't want to do them because they're so tiny. I think I'm gonna do some vinyl on these because I don't want to mess it up. Because even though it's the thick cotton rung, uh,
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable being this tiny to stretch it too far out, trying to get it on that embroidery machine to do it. So I will go ahead and do some. But you just got to
Just
know, pick your poison of which your
yeah.
material. If it's the bigger ones, I would still do the stabilizer up under, and I would do water on top.
Oh, see, I didn't. We didn't even have no water. We just went with the regular. We just went with the hat ones.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I would do both. Reason being because you want to make sure you get off over into the actual beanie material, that yarn, but you don't want
Yeah.
to mess it up. So it's just like towel material. Oh, what happened? I had some towel material because I was doing some birth cloths. I was doing some
Oh,
embroidery on those. But yeah, you want to do the water stabilizer on top because you don't want to mess up the stitching.
okay. Yeah, see, a lot of our stitches were getting all messed up, and we ruined a bunch of beanies.
Yeah.
Um, but it goes back to, yeah, like you said, knowing your poison, because I would just say yeah, just because I didn't want to be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. So I would just say yeah, and then I would figure it out as I went. But it was costly.
Yeah. I mean, you run a lot of hats in the process. I mean, that's why I tell anyone if you're not familiar with what you're doing on them, get a few of them before you actually start the whole project. That are just going to be gimme. Therefore, if you mess up, you mess up on those, and
Yeah,
you haven't lost out on anything.
yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, that's good.
Hmm.
Oh, all right. Okay. What else did I have a question on? I think that was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of our stuff was just hats, and I think we did. You know what? I don't know if you ever embroider on leather. Have you ever done leather?
I've done a leather patch. I have not done a full leather jacket or whatever, but I'm sure I can. The only thing I would suggest is you would have to make sure you get the right type of needle for that because you
That's
don't
where I
want
screwed up right there, right off the bat.
you have to have that leather needle. If you don't have that leather needle, you're not doing yourself any justice. You're gonna pop a needle every time it goes down in there because that leather is too thick for it. So you got to have the right type of needle. Number one, you got to make sure you have the right type of thread. Polyneon is not going to work on that. It may need to
I
be a little
used
bit.
this. I damn it. There's a specific thread that you would need. See, I already screwed that up right there. Because the reason I say is because we had one client who was one of our regular clients. He owns a tire shop, and so he's always going through new staff members. We're always printing their shirts. And one time he bought a brand new pickup truck, and he ordered these custom leather seat covers. And he
Mhm.
bought the little headrest part. He brought it in. He's like, "Hey, can you embroider on this?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." One of them turned out good, but the other one was almost good. At the end, it shifted a little bit, and it was on the line. Like the color was two colors, and it wasn't layered the right way. So
Right, right.
you could tell that there was a little bit of offset.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I didn't have. I used the same needle that I used for hats and the same thread, everything. I didn't know there was different things you can change.
You can change that. I mean, because it'll probably go, but it's gonna wear that needle down, and you'll never be able to use that needle again. You'll throw it out and get another one. It's certain needles that'll go through leather like butter. So
Uh,
you just have to get those right ones. And then, I was doing them for, like I said, patches to go on hats. So you have to get a post
yeah.
bed to get and put it on to make it stay. So yeah.
Huh. Speaking of that, have you? I don't know what those machines are called. I saw one the other day on. It's a machine that sews. You know those leather patches, right? And then you have to sew the leather
Oh,
patch onto the. What are they
it's
called?
a post bed machine.
A
So
post. Okay, I've been wanting to get one of those.
yeah, because
Is there,
it's a post. It's a single post that it
yeah,
sits on, and you
yeah,
can
yeah,
either
yeah.
have a ball or you can either have it where it's just a straight flat plate. Either or. But I would get one that has the ball because you can roll it and you ain't got to worry about trying to make it move around.
Oh, okay. Is there one model that you like in particular?
I usually go to Gold. Let's see, Gold Sewing Supplies. They usually have them, and they're pretty good. I like what is the name of that? You gonna make me look it up now? I I want one. I don't have one. I have like two commercial Jukis because I do sewing as well.
Oh, those are
Uh,
nice machines. Yeah.
I have the two commercial Jukis. I have a Juki I travel with because I don't, and I have a Destiny 2 Baby Lock. That's the big one with the computer on it.
Yeah, I
And
seen
I
that
have,
one. That one's cool.
so I have those, but I only travel with that Juki if I'm gonna do anything out and
Yeah.
about. But let me go to Gold, what's it called, real quick, and give you that name of that actual one. It's one that it's really good, and I really like it. And I think it's about like 1,200 and some odd dollars. But it's let me put it on here, post bed for leather, and it is Consume.
Hold on.
CON.
Let me write that down. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me grab a pen here.
Gold Star. Look at Gold Star. They usually have Consu is good, and Iconics and Consu. And Yahatma is good as well. They're okay.
What was the other one? Kansu?
Ikonix. And then
Got
the
it.
other one is Yamata. And you can look these up on Gold Star Tool.
Gold Star or Gold?
Gold Star, one
Or
word.
Gold Star. Great. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get one of those as well.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get one. I haven't gotten one yet. I've been so busy building up my screen printing shop because I'm trying to get away from a 4-1s to a bigger machine. I'm about to move it into the shop this weekend. Because I've been on the 4-1s for a while now, so it's time to upgrade. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've redid the whole shop. I got a new exposure unit, so no more me holding the 50
Ah,
watts.
yeah. Which one did you get?
I got the Ryonet 21 by 35.
Yeah, yeah. You have the one that has the cover on it
It's the
or no
red and
cover?
black. The red and
That's a
black.
nice one. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a good purchase right there. Yeah.
Got that one. I got 3 conveyor dryers.
Oh, wow. That's awesome right there. Yeah.
2
Which
for
what brand conveyor dryer did you
okay,
get?
so I ended up getting one off of Facebook Marketplace that was $400.
Oh,
A
wow.
black a black body.
Okay.
And then the next day I came across 2 um what's the name of Vastex.
Oh, those are good. Yeah, the Vastex are nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got 2 Vastex for live printings, and then I have the big black body. And I got
Yeah.
my wash my booth instead of me washing it in the sink or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and, um, and now I'm about to go get my 6.6 this weekend.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I'm moving around. So yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's great. That's great.
So it's been a journey, but sometimes, like I tell anybody, hard work pays off. You just gotta, maintain yourself and just, work through the process.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for somebody who doesn't know the work that you put in to be like, well, she's got it easy, or I want to be there. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot
A
of work
lot.
to get, yeah, to get to where you're at. It's a lot of work. A lot of probably, I don't know for you, but for me, there's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of early nights, a lot of late nights, a lot of missed lunch.
And then trying to do all this, I'm trying to
Yeah.
do the podcasting and videoing, and
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I got mics and cameras, monitors, screens
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, it's crazy 'cause I've been wanting to do like a podcast as well, but it's a lot of work. You got to balance your day life, and then you have to balance your shop, and then you still have to somehow manage to get all your orders done within a time frame that is acceptable for your customers. All the time, also thinking about your podcast. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time.
And I still work full time, so how about that?
Oh yeah, see, yeah, that's even if you have a full-time job, that throws another wrench in there.
Yeah, it's no work, it's no rest for the weary. I tell you, I'm not gonna lie.
No, no, no.
But I enjoy it. I tell my mom all the time. She said, "You need to slow down." But I tell her, I said, "This is my peace. Me doing all this stuff is my peace.
You know,
Being
you know,
creative." So,
yeah, I definitely feel you on that because my mom is always writing me and she's always telling me I gotta rest. But for me, yeah, it's like my peace. It's like my place where I can like just let out, and it's I don't feel as it's work.
yeah, I agree. I agree. So I appreciate you. You had any more last questions for me? We're gonna wrap this thing on up.
No, no, I'm good. I'm good.
But
I,
you and I need to collab on some stuff. Maybe we need to work on some stuff maybe together. I got
yeah,
a
definitely.
come up. I may be able to use you, or you may be able to use me, and go from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. However I can help. Yeah.
Yeah, cool beans, cool beans. I appreciate you. I want you to stay on. I'm gonna close this out, but I appreciate everybody joining in. And you guys have any questions, you can reach out to Andreas at.
We are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube. Just look us up, the Graphic Shack. Graphics is Graffix, the Graphic Shack. And then also the graphicshack.com. You can send us a question on there as well.
Cool beans, cool beans. Guys, we're going to wrap this up. Happy Friday, happy Good Friday, and happy Resurrection Sunday coming up. And guys, we're going to close this one out. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Okay, hold on.